Previous Nayla Winkfield reacts during a press conference organized by local clergy regarding her daughter, 13-year-old patient Jahi McMath, outside Children's Hospital Oakland on Sunday, Dec. 22, 2013, in Oakland, Calif. McMath, who doctors declared brain-dead after complications from a tonsillectomy, is being kept on life support until a court-appointed doctor can examine her. Ross Cameron, Bay Area News Group, in this October. 2, 2014 file photo. Christopher Dolan, attorney for Jahi McMath's family, shows a photo of the 13-year-old Oakland girl during a press conference at Dolan Law Firm in San Francisco, Calif. Dolan showed photos and a pair of videos where McMath moves her foot and arm as a response to the voice of her mother Nayla Winkfield in a home in New Jersey. She was declared brain-dead in California after tonsil, throat and nose surgeries to relieve her sleep apnea. Ray Chavez, Bay Area News Group. Jahi McMath, 13, who went to Children's Hospital Oakland for a 3-part surgery to remove her tonsils and clear tissue from her nose and throat in December 2013, was declared brain-dead after complications post-surgery. Courtesy of the McMath family, Sound the Gallery will resume in seconds in this October. 2, 2014 file photo. Christopher Dolan, attorney for Jahi McMath's family, shows an MRI of the 13-year-old Oakland girl during a press conference at Dolan Law Firm in San Francisco, Calif. Dolan showed photos and a pair of videos where McMath moves her foot and arm as a response to the voice of her mother Nayla Winkfield in a home in New Jersey. She was declared brain-dead in California after tonsil, throat and nose surgeries to relieve her sleep apnea. Ray Chavez, Bay Area News Group, in this Dec. 16, 2013 file photo. Nayla Winkfield, mother of Jahi McMath, 13, who has been declared brain-dead after a routine tonsillectomy, talks to media with her husband Martin Winkfield, in front of Children's Hospital in Oakland, Calif. Laura Ayota, Bay Area News Group, in this Jan. 13, 2014 file photo. Nayla Winkfield, left, mother of 13-year-old Jahi McMath, is comforted as she talks to the media outside Children's Hospital Oakland in Oakland, Calif. In this October. 2, 2014 file photo. Newspaper reporters grab printouts of the 13-year-old Oakland girl Jahi McMath during a press conference at Dolan Law Firm in San Francisco, Calif. Christopher Dolan, attorney for McMath's family, showed photos and a pair of videos where McMath moves her foot and arm as a response to the voice of her mother Nayla Winkfield in a home in New Jersey. She was declared brain-dead in California after tonsil, throat and nose surgeries to relieve her sleep apnea. Ray Chavez, Bay Area News Group, in this October. 2, 2014 file photo. Sandra Chapman, left, and Nayla Winkfield look on as a photo of their granddaughter and daughter, respectively. Jahi McMath, 13, is shown during a press conference at Dolan Law Firm in San Francisco, Calif. Christopher Dolan, attorney for Jahi McMath's family, showed photos and a pair of videos where McMath moves her foot and arm in response to the voice of her mother Nayla Winkfield in a home in New Jersey. She was declared brain-dead in California after tonsil, throat and nose surgeries to relieve her sleep apnea. Ray Chavez, Bay Area News Group. A recent photo of Jahi McMath is shown on a video screen next to her uncle Timothy Wisenton at a news conference in San Francisco, Wednesday, Dec. 23, 2015. McMath's mother Nayla Winkfield's 2-year quest to have McMath, who was declared brain-dead after complications of a tonsillectomy in 2013, declared legally alive, is moving to federal court after attempts to secure an order from a state judge ended in failure. AP photo. Jeff Jew, Nayla Winkfield, center, speaks before members of the media as Omari Seeley, left, and Christopher Dolan, attorney for Jahi McMath's family, look on during a news conference October. 3, 2014, in this Jan. 3, 2014 file photo. Omari Seeley, right, uncle of Jahi McMath, 13, speaks during a press conference after a federal court settlement hearing with Children's Hospital Oakland attorney Douglas Strauss at the Ronald V. Dellums Federal Building in Oakland, California. In this December 30, 2014 file photo, well-wishers hold a sign calling for keeping 3-year-old Jahi McMath on life support outside Children's Hospital Oakland. Judge granted an injunction to the family to keep the girl, who is brain dead, on a ventilator until at least Jan. Ross Cameron, Bay Area News Group, in this deck. 2013 file photo, Nyla Winkfield, mother of Jahi McMath, attends a court hearing to discuss the treatment of her daughter in Oakland, Caliph. Jahi, 13, remains on a ventilator at Children's Hospital Oakland after suffering tragic complications during surgery. Christopher Skinner, Bay Area News Group. Chris Dolan, Wright, attorney for the family of 13-year-old Jahi McMath, conducts a press conference with Uncle Omari Seeley, left, and grandmother Sandra Chapman outside Children's Hospital Oakland, Monday, Dec. 30, 2013 in Oakland, California. A judge granted an injunction to the family to keep the girl, who is brain dead, on a ventilator until at least Jan. The Ross Cameron, Bay Area News Group. Nyla Winkfield, center, mother of Jahi McMath, is flanked by Sandra Chapman, Jahi's grandmother, Wright, and Martin Winkfield during a court hearing to discuss the treatment of Jahi in Oakland, California. On Monday, December 23, 2013, Jahi, 13, remains on a ventilator at Children's Hospital Oakland after suffering tragic complications during surgery. Christopher Skinner, Bay Area News Group. Nyla Winkfield, center, arrives for a press conference organized by local clergy regarding her daughter, 13-year-old patient Jahi McMath, outside Children's Hospital Oakland on Sunday, Dec. 22, 2013 in Oakland, California. McMath, who doctors declared brain dead after complications from a tonsillectomy, is being kept on life support until a court-appointed doctor can examine her. The Ross Cameron, Bay Area News Group. Omari Seeley, uncle of 13-year-old Jahi McMath, speaks to the media after the family held a prayer vigil for the girl at Paradise Baptist Church in Oakland, California, on Thursday, October 10, 2013. Jahi went into Children's Hospital Oakland to have her tonsils out and is now brain dead. The family had asked for a 1-hour international prayer vigil tonight. Ray Chavez, Bay Area News Group. Nyla Winkfield reacts during a press conference organized by local clergy regarding her daughter, 13-year-old patient Jahi McMath, outside Children's Hospital Oakland on Sunday, Dec. 22, 2013, in Oakland, California. McMath, who doctors declared brain dead after complications from a tonsillectomy, is being kept on life support until a court-appointed doctor can examine her. Ross Cameron, Bay Area News Group. In this October 2, 2014 file photo, Christopher Dolan, attorney for Jahi McMath's family, shows a photo of the 13-year-old Oakland girl during a press conference at Dolan Law Firm in San Francisco, Caliph. Dolan showed photos and a pair of videos where McMath moves her foot and arm as a response to the voice of her mother Nyla Winkfield in a home in New Jersey. She was declared brain dead in California after tonsil, throat and nose surgeries to relieve her sleep apnea. Ray Chavez, Bay Area News Group. Next show caption 1 of 17 in this October 2, 2014 file photo, Christopher Dolan, attorney for Jahi McMath's family, shows a photo of the 13-year-old Oakland girl during a press conference at Dolan Law Firm in San Francisco, Caliph. Dolan showed photos and a pair of videos where McMath moves her foot and arm as a response to the voice of her mother Nyla Winkfield in a home in New Jersey. She was declared brain dead in California after tonsil, throat and nose surgeries to relieve her sleep apnea. Ray Chavez, Bay Area News Group. Expand. Click here if you are having a problem viewing the photos on a mobile device. Coming just days after the announcement of her death, a newly released Harvard Medical School summary says that Jahi McMath's brain showed subtle signs of improvement over the 5-year span following the original declaration that she was brain dead, suggesting a legal resurrection from death to life and challenging our widely held understanding of what it means to be officially dead. California declared Jahi dead in 2015, but the Oakland teen continued to grow, developed breasts, had menstrual cycles, digested food, excreted waste, fought off infections, healed wounds and seemed to respond to basic commands, according to medical testimony provided at a conference about the case. Ad choice advertising and red invented by teens. Furthermore, her badly damaged brain had regions that were still intact, and there are clinical signs that she incrementally improved over time, seemingly crossing the line between brain dead into life and minimally conscious state, though there was never any hope she would recover further, doctors said. Jahi's long, sorrowful saga, which began when an oral surgery went awry at Children's Hospital Oakland, ended last week with news of her biological death caused by internal bleeding on kidney issues. She now has 2 death certificates, one issued by California on Dec. 12, 2013, and one issued by New Jersey on June 22. Her parents, never believing there was no hope, had taken her across the country to the one state that allows the declaration of brain death to be contested on religious grounds, where she remained connected to breathing machines until last week. The widely publicized and hotly debated fight over her fate illuminates a little-known fact: brain death is an important legal term, but the underlying biology may be far less decisive. Its impact could reverberate through mainstream medicine for years to come, because science is advancing much faster than the courts or legislature, said doctors and bioethicists. The law tends to favor bright-line distinctions, yes or no, black or white, no in between, said Dr. Robert Truig, director of the Harvard Center for Bioethics, who organized the conference. Held in April, its proceedings were released immediately after Jahi's death. By improving, Jahi crossed that bright line. Clinically, that's not all that surprising, said doctors. That's because, unlike law, biology tends to involve a continuous spectrum. Brain injury also occurs on a spectrum, and subtle changes can be detected by ever-improving diagnostic tools, he said. By having some degree of improvement in her functioning, legally she's gone from being in the dead portion to being in the alive portion, Truig said. That's an important thing for us to grapple with. Brain death does not necessarily signify biological death, said Truig, but is merely the extreme end of the spectrum of neurological injury. The phrase serves an important role in society, he added. Even if patients are not biologically dead, their profound neurological impairment means that, for legal purposes, they can be treated as if they are dead. It's essential for knowing when wills may be executed and when organs can be donated, said Truig. There are other examples of biological transitions that are legally definitive. For example, on the moment a person becomes 18, he or she goes from being a child to an adult, with completely new legal status. People whose vision slips below 20/200ths are legally blind, even though they can still see. But it can be very confusing for grieving families. Jahi suffered major brain injury at UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital Oakland after going into cardiac arrest following complications from complex nose and throat surgery. The parents then moved her to New Jersey for care. When Jahi's family rejected California's determination of death, experts such as bioethicist Lawrence McCullough of Baylor College of Medicine in Houston called their logic disordered, from a medical point of view. There is a word for this, crazy. But now some doctors think differently. We would say that Jahi's parents were far from crazy in believing their daughter to still be biologically alive, according to Truig. He published a major article about the controversy, called Defining Death, in the May 8 issue of the Journal of the American Medical Association. The current definition, established in 1981 by the U.S. President's Commission, is based on the stance that biological and legal brain death are the same, presuming that the functioning of the brain is necessary for the functioning of the organism as a whole. But over the past several decades, doctors have learned that this is not scientifically correct, said Truig. There is incontrovertible evidence that individuals who meet diagnostic criteria for brain death can continue to live and maintain their bodies indefinitely with the aid of mechanical ventilation. Jahi met the 3 legal criteria for brain death: coma, absence of brainstem reflexes, and apnea. But, using additional tests, she was still alive, asserted Drive. The Alan Schumann, professor emeritus of pediatrics and neurology at UCLA, who reviewed magnetic resonance imaging and other tests, as well as 49 videos of the teenager moving specific fingers and toes at command. She was intermittently responsive to stimuli, such as the voices of family members, said Schumann, who publicly explained the MRI scans and footage at Harvard for the first time. While her movements weren't consistent, they were reproducible and sustained enough to be differentiated from reflexive behavior. This was not merely the result of Jahi being sustained by machines, he said. In other sustained brain-dead patients, the entire contents of their skull have been replaced by a chaotic jumble of tissues, fluids and calcifications, eventually liquefying. If Jahi were brain-dead, we would expect her MRI at 9 months to show a similar pattern with near-total destruction, Schumann said. This conclusion also was reached by Dr. Charles J. Prestigiacomo, director of cerebrovascular and endovascular neurosurgery at Rutgers University Hospital in Newark, New Jersey. To be sure, her brain was massively damaged, according to advanced brain scans presented at the Harvard conference, performed at Rutgers University Hospital. She suffered destruction to the insulation, called myelin, around nerves. Also damaged was her cortical ribbon, a slender strip that comprises the outermost portion of the brain. There was degeneration in her deep white matter, as well as her corpus callosum, which joins the brain's 2 hemispheres. There also were signs that the contents of her brain had shifted, perhaps catastrophically, due to high intracranial pressure. But there was surprisingly little damage to other parts. There was no atrophy of the cortex. Her upper brainstem was largely intact. So was an area called the thalamus, according to slides shown by Schumann. Since these are the structures that mediate arousal and alertness, said Schumann, it is tempting to speculate that its relative preservation, in contrast to the lower brainstem destruction, could account for Jahi's intermittent awareness, despite her severe motor disability and absent brainstem reflexes. Improved diagnostic tools are blurring the bright line drawn by law, making it possible to detect life through determination of blood circulation, electrical function and other signs that weren't detectable before, the experts said. This raises issues about the accuracy of tests for determining brain death and the pressure doctors could feel to aggressively intervene, said Arthur Kaplan, founding head of the Division of Medical Ethics at NYU School of Medicine. Do we have to beef up the tests? Asked Kaplan. Is it affordable to do that? For everybody who is declared dead, do we put their head in an fMRI machine? Meanwhile, advances in care are also improving outcomes, said Harvard's Truig. There are examples of patients who are thought to be in a permanent vegetative state who improved to the level of a minimally conscious state, or even beyond. If there was evidence that Jahi improved, this could be the first case suggesting that the diagnosis of brain death by established criteria may not be irreversible, said Truig. And this could really be kind of a bombshell. 80 Quality Auto 360p 720p 1080p. You might also like 3 men nabbed for a fray after celebration at Anmo. Straits Times. Former beauty queen injured in e-scooter accident at Straits Times. The unusual link between coconut oil and Alzheimer's memory repair protocol.com. New vision discovery is leaving optometrists baffled. Health benefits. Club chiropractors baffled. Simple stretch relieves years. Health news tips. Today LG launches smaller capacity twin washing machines. Hardware Zone. Olivia Nova dies, latest in string of porn star deaths. MercuryNews.com hits. We'll never forget the stunning depth of MercuryNews.com. Stanford gets commitment from 4-star East Bay running. MercuryNews.com recommended by